Okay, this is a 1-minute video. If you can hear my heart, if you can feel the tension within my body, I just did something that I shouldn't have done, but I did it anyways. Even though it was only done in my mind, I had to see the reality come true. What was that? I did 2 things in a row. First, I turned it on to Facebook, and then I put it on to roulette. And then I hoped for a number 3 times in a row. And the number never came, but on the 3rd time it did come. And my heart was pumping for no reason. So I decided I'll switch to the race cars. And I was hoping just to see the finish line, because that's all I turned to the last 30 seconds, not knowing who was going to win. And how my heart was pounding for the driver in the front seat. So I decided to turn it to the races. And I was watching the races. It was the last play in chess, the last hit in the pro game, the last part of the échec de vie, which means the check of life. The check, échec, it means to check them into the boards. Numerology, gematria, Kabbalah, whatever you want to say, it's all part of a higher system, a computer system, a brain that exists that you don't understand. When the government makes a move, they make the move based on what the people think. And people have thoughts of things because of what the computer system has done to our television, media, communication centers all over the world, building dams, telling where, what heights, at what times, when to build them, what presidents are going to come in. We don't know it, but this game has been played before. We're just the antiseptic at the end of the syringe, cleansing it off, purifying the truth to what they saw as the game of life. Now that I'm starting to calm down, it showed up 141. All day, went to the license bureau. I lost my license, misplaced it, whatever the fact. Went to number 14, then to number 15. I was number 3 walking in, 3.1415, the first 5 numbers in pi. Plus, I had to sit down. I guess that was the dot in between. Do you want me to tell you about pi? Do you want me to show you how it shows 11, 11, 11? How pi says Einstein? How Nibiru says, let's walk the streets of the saints? How Nibiru, for me and my whole project, which I didn't like this year of 2012, the end of the world, but I didn't separate it for Nibiru. It's 2 separate entities, the same way as a Lenin or 11-9 or Yo 11. Why Yo 11? Because we're passing around the alphabet one more time at the 27th number of Rubik's Cube. First we start off on the cross in the first Rubik's Cube, number 14. 27 later takes us to the next Rubik's Cube. 27 and 14 is 41. Then 27 more is 68, and 27 more is 95, and 27 left is 68, and 27 left is 41. And then back to the top again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Numbers don't count. Monopoly's not fair because people actually cheat and take sides. Baccarat, craps, roulette, blackjack, they all are numerological calculations within inside a calculator by the percentages of. Now, how would they calculate that 6 and 9 would come together? Because the opposite sides, 5 and 9, because the opposite sides of the 5 says 9. Playing everything with 2 dice. We take the 5 dice and flip it upside down, and it says 2. We take the 4 dice, 5 and 4 is 9. We flip the 4 upside down, and on the other side is 3. 3 and 2 makes 5. 6 and 8 is the same scenario. 2 4s upside down will both say 3. That's 6. Or we can go a 6 upside down as a 1, to a 2 upside down as a 5. We get 6 of 8. It's all calculated, my friends. You think it's not calculated? It's been done by computer and nobody can break the laws. The only ways you break and change the laws by the amount of energy you put in, by upping your bet when you bet in blackjack and not leaving it at the same amount and ending up with 3 positions ahead. Because if you're only going to bet the same thing in blackjack, if you win 4 in a row, you have to go home. Because that's the odds, my friend. Rubik's Cube is 5, 4, 4, 5. 4.5 and 5. What's in between 7 and 3? 5. Look on your telephone for it. It's also the 5. What's in between 1 and 9? It's 5. 4 from 1 and 4 from 9. 1 for 1 exchange. Your DNA number, Nibiru. Nibiru says 29, 9. 2, 9, 2, 9. 2 and 9 is 11. To the 9 in the center is 11, 9. To the 2 in the center is 11, 2. Or KB. Something to do with computers. It's all going to relate back to computers. The deck of cards you play. The face is this way, the face is that way. But not all the cards that face the same way will actually see each other. When you flip the cards upside down, they're still looking the opposite way. Two sides of a card, the house we live. Here's four corners, here's four corners, but you see, these are entry. This is the hallway entry, 1, 2. Only these are the corners to this because they're reflective of. These are the reflective of this, meaning the four sides of the building. Now we turn it upside this, you see what can fit in here? You see what fits in? These are half eggs, but the design of the heart shows a chicken's head. It's a baby animal sitting over here. There's his black nose. There's the animal with a pouty face. All these cards tell stories. And it's all about the club. The weakest card in bridge is the club, and it's all about the club. But everybody's joining a club, the Diamond Club. Join us. We all got hearts. We all got spades. In French, they call it a pick. And a bumblebee, when they say pick, it means it stung you, it stung you. But it stings or it stings, it doesn't matter what it does. Isn't it funny the way M&M is Mickey Mouse and D&D is Donald Duck? B&B is Bugs Bunny, R&R is Roadrunner and Railways. How they duplicated so it would rhyme in our minds. For the good, don't forget, no matter what I say, I'm always going to guarantee that 25% is always going to be good. But don't you know once you have one bad, it makes all the good bad? Because no one knows the truth. Once bad goes into good, he's good. When good goes into bad, it's bad. The minute you put bad into a situation, it's in all the situation. Even if good outranks bad, once you put bad into good, it demolishes good. Because everybody is within bad now. We're in bed now with bad. BAD, 2, 1, and 4. 4, 1, and 2, the total is 7. Another house, of course. We're always building houses, but the 1 doesn't multiply. The 2 and 4 are the 24 hours of man. The 1 doesn't multiply. 2 by 4 is the 8 heaven, or 2 plus 4. We could add the 1 is 6 man, and the 1 is his heart, the spirit entry of what we have inside this world. All about the water, my friends. There's a lot more I can say about Nibiru and bring out a lot of numbers and tell you Nibiru is part of the 7th inning stretch, because the end of the word RU is the 18th and 21st letter, which is 18 outs, 6 innings, or 21 outs, 7 innings. 7 and 6 is 13. 13 by 3 is the cycle of 39. You do not reach 40. We have 39 on 3 triangles, but we cannot get it. It will start the 4th one or the beginning of the square by hitting 3 by 19 instead of 3 by 13. Sorry, we'll have 3 by 14 is now 42. So we went up 3 automatically. The minute you go up 1 number, you go up 3. The byway, the highway, Nibiru, the route. The nest, the egg. Possibly some sort of mothership for transformer ships, little baby ships that come down here and stop the malicious army. And I'm not talking about the militia men, but the ones who are in the army for the only reason of serving of what used to be right in their minds is no longer right. But if they go against the society that they have joined, which is the army, they will be locked up and jailed. Well, they should be locked up in jail, because guess what? If all the army men get locked up in jail and all the policemen get locked up in jail, who's going to be holding the key? They're going to have to start building jails just to hold all these people. They can't do anything to you if you drop by the hundreds of thousands. They can't do anything to you. They can't threaten you, because whatever they're going to say and whatever threat, as they see the army men drop out, the rest will start dropping out. And now protecting the other side, which is the right side. For the first time, the army will be as militiamen for the right side, protecting the Second Amendment, protecting all beings of one amendment, that is you. 1 and 9. Understand? And it's been in my program since the beginning. These army men must drop out. All protection for evil must drop. Evil must protect itself, not hire out help and then tell them you have to or we'll put you in jail. That's not the way to go. The minute you hear that, you know they're against the Bible. If anyone tells you you'll go to jail because you will not kill, that is against the Bible. So if you're a Bible man, you're not listening to it. If you stop killing and get out of the army, you're listening to the Bible. And if you don't believe in the Bible, you already know it's not right to kill for no reason. You're killing men just like you have there's husbands and wives, and you're killing for one person at the top saying doing it because of this, when there is no truth. If you can get 20,000 army men to sit up and have a reunion with 20,000 Afghanistans, Iranians, sit down as men and soldiers together and discuss and you will see there's nothing wrong. Something's wrong with our money. If we can dilute the money, okay, we can fix part of the problem. But another part of this problem is communications. And the evolution of the whatever bombs or nuclear energy they're supporting, in my world, it says something to do again with communications and controlling the earth. So it's not only money, it's controlling the earth, because once you control everybody, money has no value because it all belongs to you. Isn't that the way it's monopoly? No matter how many people will go on by, you'll never see them again because they're broke. So it's all about that nuclear, and somebody doesn't want anybody else to have that nuclear power. So what we have to do is transform all our communications on Earth so that most of everything is no longer private in a certain area. People can have private lives, but no longer. Private in the army is now no longer private. Communications will be shared. Because if somebody's out to do something wrong, we're all going to know. We're all going to be tailing your tail all the time. So the only ones that can hang out are the ones who are really doing the evil, but then how do we judge them? How do we bring them in? We don't want to put people away. And like I'm saying, Connecticut, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, 9/11 corner on visiting jail, around the corner of Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York on the other 9/11 corner. Games people play around the world. Look at Monopoly somewhere else in this world, if something else is going to happen. It's going to happen from the Monopoly board at the 9/11 corner. Don't forget, Boardwalk has already been taken over, and that's next to the 9/11 corner of Go, in which it's a -1 to go because you can get there at -101 and hit the Mediterranean at the same time. Another thing to remember is I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but if you take a look at this angle compared to this angle triangle here is in between here. That's how the spread is created between both sides. And then we just notch it up to the beginning. This and this equals this. One triangle and one 5-point star, the Pontiac. These two are put together to create this. Now, do I have to go forward or backwards within the vision? Top of my pen falling down. Hands, still dirty. Snow, falling tons of snow, tons of snow. It better not rain at Christmas time where I am. It's been raining way too often. In order to make this a unique cycle, because at least for the last 7-8 years, it's really been a freeze and a rain. So I don't want to see the rain. I want to see snowflakes on Christmas. Not before, not the day after, the 24th, 25, and 26. They're calling for 3 days of darkness. I do not want to see rain. I must see the sky. We must look at the sky. When the skies clear out, look at the skies. They will be running big time. Big time, my friend. Christmas chemtrails to keep Santa Claus out. Big time, my friends. Watch the next sun. They will be coming out big time, my friends. Remember the before and after theory? Well, it's coming right back at us. We spiral around the sun. By the time, here we are spiraling around the sun. But by the time the sun goes this way and we turn all the way around, this way is 1. This way is 2. But we haven't made it all the way around yet. In order to get all the way around, you see, if Dr. Jean Ray, if he was talking now, this is the way I can see it. If we're looking at an outside world, okay, just to express it so others can see, as the world turns, its 24-hour day, this advances. This must advance 365 times, but this will not spin all the way around the ball 365 times. It will only spin around the ball, I'm guessing, 91 times. 91 times 4 days equal 364 moons. 13 moons, I'm saying. 364 days. Going around in a spiral like an advancing, with now I would understand Dr. Jean Ray. We're advancing, so by the time we spun out and forward, we're not going a full day. We're only going a part of a day. 4 by 6 hours in the day would take us to from the morning all the way around to the next day. But you're only over here. Just like the design in the baseball. You have to follow, look how many designs there are. 1, 2 at the bottom, 3, 4, 5, and you go all the way around. There's over 6. That means in 1 week, it would take a week to go around. At 50 days is 350. At 52 days, 352. 7 times 7 times, how many days? 352. 7 times 52. 7 by 52 is 364 equals to 13 moons. 1 and 3, 13. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals 3 and 4, equaling to the number 7, 7 and 7, 7 and 8, and 15 is 7, 8, 15 is G, H, A, E. Okay, so if we're only going around 52 times of the Mayan, say 52, makes 364 days, 13 moons, which is 1 by 3 and 1 by 4 equals 7. 5 and 2 equals 7. 5 and 2 is the 10 of the J world, of the minus 1 and plus 1, 9 and 11. 7 and 7 multiplied by equals to 34. 3 plus 4 equals 7. 7, 7, 7. The numbers will always be perfect. They have no choice. It's not your choice or anybody else to change the 9 lives of the cat inside the dog pound, making totality a dog-eat-dog world, with one cat who is piercing into each and every one of us, and we're not even aware, because everything's great, right? That's the way you see it. What's sad and what's great is that really who cares what's going to happen in 200 years, but we're going to make that 200 years right now. I got about 20 years left to go in this world, maximum for what's left or the change of this world. And after that, whatever I leave is passed on to my kin, whether my son wants me to come over or doesn't want me to come over. Whether I'm accepted or not accepted, what my son sees will be put off onto the next, and onto the next, and onto the next. It's a never-ending wheel, a cycle of numbers that are not guessed, but carefully placed within the realm of 10. Why? Because 1 backwards to 9.9 is your one realm. 1 forward to 1.99 is your realm. 199 and 199 is 396. 3 times 96 is 288. 288 times 1.25 is 360. As we run in a 1,440-minute cycle of 48 hours, 2,880 minutes. 288 is where that is. 2 days a week, 1 day, 2 days. The Saturday-Sunday cycle of 48 hours. Whichever way you want to look at it. You want to count hours up. Do you want to say that the minute clock is actually running less at speed? We should have 32 hours in a day according to this. According to a 24-hour day, we should have 32 in a day. And according to the amount of time we're actually getting, is 16 hours. Now, whether that means is, does our sleep count? Because our sleep scenario counts for 8. But in metric time, it stands for 10 and 6. Are you following me right now? So is it our sleep that we're not getting enough revelations, enough thought, enough knowledge to proceed in the next day? We're not contacting with our subconscious? But can this world close us off? Or have they mixed up our soul minds that we can't communicate and it was supposed to be set up that way, so we must try and always try harder? Because once you reach 10, you're now in the shadows of 10 again. Because everything's on this angle. The minute you come close to this, you're automatically pushing yourself down 9999999, and at the end you hit the 10. You've hit the wall. You're hitting the wall at one end, and you just jump over and look back all the way at the top. If you flip yourself upside down, it's only a reflection from 1. Raphael, 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Happy golfing in Florida. If you shoot a birdie, just pick them up and hopefully it's a pheasant and you can cook them for dinner. But on hole number 2, you get a hole-in-one, so you shot an eagle on a par 3. That's a hole-in-one. It's an automatic. Somebody says, I got an eagle on a par 3, you got a hole-in-one. It's an automatic in life. When you're running on thin ice, you're running on once was. Why once was is thin ice? Because take the number I and put it in front of C and E, and it looks like ice. Instead of the word, it should be ice. It can become nice as twice. 10, 20, 30, all with T's. 40 and 50, both with an F. 60 and 70, both with an X. 80 and 90, they're separate. It says your birth in heaven. N-N-E means name. Could mean nose. It could mean birth in French. Could be à la neige. It could mean it's snowing outside and there's angels in the snow. One coming up for you. Is Christ real? For all those who think he's not, he is in the middle of Rubik's Cube. He is number 74 as Jesus. He is 77 being called the Christ. But every time we call the Christ, we call the Christ Almighty. We separate it from the man of Jesus to being the Christ of Almighty. It's two different senses. You follow me? Because once the word of Christ Almighty, it's like help I can't believe. When you say Jesus Christ Almighty, you're asking to one man. Is that right to ask for one man? No. You're supposed to ask for the one man who if he stands for, because you cannot stand for him if he is wrong. So for one who is above him is always right because he's showing him is right. Not that the words that were written were absolutely correct, but just the knowledge of knowing. To help me Christ Almighty is to saying the higher of above who is mightier and smarter, I am asking for help because I can't help myself. That's who the real God is all about. That's why G and H is silent. That's why E and I, 5 and 9, which is like A and E, and T transmission, which connects the I and E, says 8. And that's how Christ connects. But God and the week. Half a week is 4. The full week is 7. 7 and 4, 74 is the number of Christ. If you make a crisscross on a 36 number, putting it into the 9 lives, imagine the tic-tac-toe. You put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to 36. The center will add up to 74. The angle, 222. The other angle, 222. The total, 444. 444 is 888. 444, 444, 888, 1776. The total of the one box is 58. The total of the two boxes is 62. But I want to wipe out the 2. The one box is a total of 58. And the 2 as a word, gematria, is 58 is 116 or 11F, KF. But it totals the initial count for the months of the year. Now, why do I come on and tell you all this up and down and all around? 1 times 4, the first 2 numbers in pi, 1 times 4 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5, it equals 9. It's the maximum and the minimum you can get, and you hit 9. Once you go to 2, it's no good. But if you go to 1 and 3, it comes down. If you go to 1 and 5, equals 6. 1 times 5 equals 5, you have 11. Now you have 9, 11. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4, 1 times 5, 1 plus 5, 9, 11. It's also the first 4 numbers in pi, and it tells you that route to 9, 11, which is a K9, because the 11th number is a K, and the 9th number is an I. K9. It's the 9th. K9. I show you all these different things when I talk about the realities about Nibiru or whatever else might people talk about. Oh, don't forget, I only mimic what most people do. If I don't know it, I have to hear it from somebody somewhere. I don't take the credit. All my credit should go to whoever discovered what it is, but to them, it's not a discovery. Hey, look, man, I saw this. They just saw it. But me, when I see it, I expand on it. Because there's more to everything than actually you seem to think that there is. The design in the back, that's basically what we're living with. Bubbles upon bubbles upon bubbles. Because when you break a bubble, if nothing takes its place, you float into space or you fall down hard to the ground. Bubbles hold you up when you run. It's the gravitational pull that sucks us onto Earth and holds the sky up and the oceans down. Everything would be floating. If we were in the actual universe, forget about the ozone layer. That's nothing. But if we were in the actual universe, I couldn't see it doing what it does. We need to have always a consistent moving universe so that all the bubbles are all somehow connected together, making big bangs and fire and recreating and burning and just to consistently keep up life. Because I see that if the universe falls, it will collapse everything. Luckily enough, the Creator found a method that it continuously renews itself. We call it Mark Rodin then. It continuously renews itself. And at a certain level, he has the peaks and the points of the pyramids in the proper angles, that once we're in this angle, that anything that falls, it will always be filled up from below and above. It will always be knit in. You don't see it. Your computer's unplugged also, and you ain't got internet. But you got Y, hey, 5, 23, 5, 2, 3, and 5, B, C, E. Bell Canada Enterprises, 2, 3, and 5, connected by the Wi-Fi. And now Bell just opened up 5 TV. Pretty funny, eh? And 2, 3, 2 and 3 is 5. Everybody plugs up to Bell. They're the pig of 11. B&E, 7, 11. 7-Eleven, yo, craps. Why? Because forget about Bell, LL. It's B&E and 11. Break an entry, the 2-letter and the 5-letter, and 11 is 2 again, 252. 254 was the Twin Towers that took its descent. Don't forget, you're never wrong. If you think it's here but you're off, go left, go right, try to come back to the center and see what happens. There's a reason you're here. There's a reason it says 222.8. There's a reason for every placement of everything. Just went to McDonald's, and they're showing off communication, showing off actually the way we should be sitting. We're resting like in between this side and this side. One rests here, one rests over here, and then the reflections on this side and this side. There's 4 sticking out. There's 4 in the corners that are turning. I like to know if all the planets are turning up. And then there's the center, what I call Jupiter Champ, super train, directing and holding from the sky. Some of the planets are turning. Somehow some of the planets are not. And we're just inside this fictitious area. And the reason we're in there, it's not that we're not going around the sun or anything, if we are at all. It's just that the reality of the speed of light is not the same. And we can't see it. We're not allowed. Otherwise, it would change our whole mental thought towards life. And it's coming out now in 2012 when I just went to pick up the cost of my license. Basically, you know what it cost me? $12.20. It's the first thing they charged me. $12.20, guichet, the aisle number 14. Everything I've done today is number 14. Someone was stuck in the snow. She said, thank you, was 14 on her back license plate. Today is a number of 14. I knew on the 18th to the 21st, now the 21st to the 24th, and then the Eve is on Jesus. And then we have the 12 days of Christmas, and we move on. Things are going to change. They have to change. This is the way I have to think. They must change. Things must change. I want them to change. Does that mean I'm making a prediction? Let's say I am. Maybe it'll only change for me, and only me. I'm hoping it'll change for everybody that uses the words loose change. Let it just happen to me. Whichever way it's going to go that way. Because I know at the end, it's going to go the way I want it to. I know by the year 2014, October, the last day of Passover, will be the new induction into this new world we are running through right now, which has begun at the end of 1998. 9 plus 9 plus 9, 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 1998. In all actuality, it ends in 96 because you can't reproduce the number. But then again, we have to go to 1994. 9 and 4 is 13. 1995, 14. 1996, 15. 1997, 17. 1998, 18. 1999, 19. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain. Everything ended. Then, for me, Jesus was born in 2 or 3 BC. We are now in the year of 2015, 2016 right now. We are not. But in the Hebrew year, we are at 5773. Because we continued on from the number left off. I'd like to know what we are on in the Asian calendar and what it's all about in Czechoslovakia. What's that? Check? Oh, there's a check. Got a check in the mail. Yeah. Oh, you want me to check the mail? I said I had a check in the mail. Don't be hyped up about that word check. You got check, change, rearrange? Yeah, I find it all strange coming down in the cards. You got change for 5, I want to leave a tip. But now I don't feel so funny. I'm giving, but I feel it's not enough because she wants more in her head. 2 cents is not good enough. But the 2 cents I give you are the words I spoke that took me 29 minutes that is worth a lifetime within who I am. Raphael, 7286 on the constellation is Pegasus, that is connected to the great old north of Canada. Canada, we will straighten this out. US, we will straighten it out. America, North America, and all the countries of Africa and the entire world, the globe or the sphere that we live on inside the matrix, all those who want to have it all checked, changed, and rearranged, hopefully one day it will work out that way in the not-so-distant future, let's say less than 5 years. that there will be a society that at least one generation will start to be able to live into, not having to pull down their pants in the middle of public because some person behind them has a badge. That is totally retarded. You want to strip me? Take me to jail and strip me. When you find nothing, let me go. What else am I supposed to say? Like I said earlier on in the video, if you're an army man, if enough of you get together, don't worry about going to jail. Don't worry. If once you have one, don't talk. Just have followers. One day 10, one day 100, one day 1,000. Once 1,000 army men go to jail, all the rest of them aren't going to be worried. And all those people who can't eat, well, everybody who has money in this world, start paying the army men to come home. Start setting it up. It's those rich men that can feed the poor army men who's probably getting 50, 60 grand a year in a house to live in that costs nothing, who is richer than ever, but he stops to kill, he loses that money. Take away the money from the object, every man in the army will stop. Take away the prisons because they cannot jail 300 million army men. They cannot jail 10 million army men because the army men become the SWAT teams. And then the SWAT teams will give up because of food that they need for the belly. But we give them the food that we need, and they see they're on the good side because we are helping. Money will change in the future, and it will no longer change us, but keep us to not only the good fortune, but the better of the understanding. Instead of having the cat in the hat, we'll have the dollar bill that came out of the hat, like a rat. Came into our sack and our bed and our head, turned our brains all dreary, thinking of the money bed. Not trying to rhyme here. Throwing of the dice and gambling, hours and thousands of hours. Gambling and gambling. We won't take that away. There's still going to be gambles in life. Putting bulls and bears into the stock markets in every city so that every city is balanced because the energy of love that runs through Matrix. That's right, my friends. We run through Matrix. And when you love your money more, you are paid off for it in many ways. I'm looking for my lighter. When you love money, didn't you see Scarface, the way he had it all and then he had nothing? It seems like the ones with money and everything at the top, at the end, or at the bottom, they only live out an extra 20, 30 years. By the time they get to the top, they're knocking off so many people, they don't stay at the top long enough to be called anything at all. But if you want to really look at the real good people of the world, really, check this out. One of the longest living groups, for me, of tame yet sturdy renewal, Harley Davidson. The gangs. These gangs are not out there for nothing. They're out there, they were placed there by the system. They were let go not because they couldn't stop them early, but there wasn't any reason to prove to the public we don't need them. But let me tell you, Harley Davidson, Hell's Angels, and all these groups, if there's anybody that's going to save us, they'll be there as militiamen at the end, just like they've been there all along. But they've been mistreated. They've been cheated on. But they knew if they broke up the truth, they would all get knocked off. They're just an extension of the government. They weren't at the beginning, but they were told if you want us to let you keep on going, you have to help us. But it wasn't a fair help, and it wasn't good all the time, and it made them look bad over time. But for me, I'll take the barbershop quartet, the Hells Angels, and the bikers to come back and be that opening door to clearing out and saving our future for our children and our grandchildren. Raphael 7286.